Welcome to What's That Pen, helping you find your next perfect pen. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to be looking at the Zebra Funwari Fude color brush pen. This is a pack that I got at Joann, and I was so excited because 40% off coupon. So rather than them being about $15, they were 40% off of that. While there are only 6 pens in the pack, it still made me hesitate a bit because that means that each pen is $2.30 without the discount, a little bit less than $2 with the discount, so I bought them. All right. So at $2.30, that's not bad if these are great pens. I don't know yet because I haven't used them. I wanted to dive into them with you. This 6-pack, that's it. There are 6 colors. So hopefully you like these 6 colors. There are very few options. Now, on the package, it doesn't say whether or not they're acid-free, but looking on their site, it does say that they are acid-free and they are a relatively permanent pen. Now, being a water-based dye ink, I don't know absolutely how permanent they'd be if you got water onto your creation, but acid-free, that's pretty good. It's not going to change color over time. Let's open up the pack and see what we have inside. This pack is able to be reclosed so that even once you have the sticky off, I need a little Goo Gone to get all the sticky off, you are able to continue to keep your pens inside this container, throw them in your bag, and they won't fall out. So the 6 colors are red, orange, green, blue, pink, and purple. There's no yellow and also no black. Zebra does make quite a wide variety of pens, and those do have more color options, but for now, we're just looking at these ones. Now, opening it up, it has a really, really tiny nib, and that gets me so happy because it can be really hard to find small nib pens. It also looks like it is a nice nylon nib, which means that you are going to be able to have it last for longer than a felt-based nib. It does have that beautiful brush nib that we're looking for, where you can get your thin upstrokes and thick downstrokes, and there is actually quite a nice feeling to this pen where you can even really feel your upstrokes. You can feel your pen on the page and you're not questioning about whether or not your pen is on the page. Typically with a pen like that where you can feel it's still nice and hard for your upstrokes, that's how you can get really consistent upstrokes and control them over time. You can see that it's very, very fine with those upstrokes and then has the nice swells for the downstrokes. Because it's a small nib size, your thick lines are not super thick, but your thin lines are very, very small. And it's that contrast between the thick and the thin that makes a pen beautiful for brush lettering. Let's look at the Nib Rebound. So pressing it one way over and over and over, all the way across the box, and then take a look at the tip. And there's a little bit of flex to the one side, but not all that much flex. So I would say that it has pretty good nib rebound. I was also able to still make upstrokes even as I was going across the nib rebound box, which means that it was easy to transition still from those upstrokes to downstrokes, even though so many strokes had been done one after the other. Now, writing size, this is not a size that we see very often, but you could actually write quite small with these pens, small or extra small, depending on the style that you're using. It's exciting to find a beautiful small pen and also one that comes in color. I wish they had a black in this set. That would just top it off. For juiciness, let's color in the cup. And I can already see that there are some streaks happening. For a pen this small, this is a lot of space to be covering. So it's a bit of a drier pen. There's no smudge to it, which means that it would be great for lefties because it looks like it dries quite quickly. But that dryness means that sometimes there will be streaks that you might see. Let's look at our ease of transition. So from an upstroke to a downstroke and then back to an upstroke. And on this side, going the other direction, back to an upstroke. That transition is actually really nice. I would say that if you are having difficulty with getting from your light stroke to a dark stroke, so thick to thin and then back again, this is a really good pen to choose because it almost wants to do more of the thin upstroke than the thick downstroke. And that's backwards from a lot of pens where that flex just happens so quickly. So this is one that if you're finding your swell areas are ending up too far or they're encroaching on your thin upstroke areas, just by switching to this pen could very well help to fix some of those problems that you are having. Let's quickly take a look at the color. I've used most of the colors on this page. We have the red, which is pretty much what I expected for a red. The orange is not what I expected at all. It's actually more of a yellow orange, which is nice. It kind of sits in between the yellow and the orange values, acting as both, though it's confusing that the cap shows you that it's going to be a solid orange. The purple, just a side note, I am not a fan of purple, but this purple is bright. It's hard to find a bright purple. Usually they end up really quite dark, more towards the very dark blackish sort of purple, but this one is bright and pops off the page. It's one that I could shockingly actually see myself grabbing as one of my first option pens. The lid looks like it's going to be darker than it actually is. With the blue, it has a bit more of a green tone than just a straight blue. It's more of an aqua, which personally I love the aqua color, so it would be a pen that I would like. It is, though, a little bit confusing that the pen lid shows blue when it actually ends up being a bit more of an aqua, because I'm sure I'm going to forget that. And when I'm just flipping through my pens, looking at the cap colors, I'm going to think that I have an orange and I have a blue, when in fact I have a golden yellow and an aqua. I wish that they had made the cap colors more true to the actual color that you're going to see on the page, because it would make it more enticing to use these pens and you would know what you're going to end up with on your page, which I think is really important. The green, though, is quite a bit darker than I expected. The pink is pretty much spot on. So I'm disappointed that the green is so dark, especially with how bright the other colors are. It is nice to have a good green as part of your set, but if I was to take the green out, I'm still left with 5 really nice colors that I would definitely make use of on a regular basis when writing smaller sized words. All in all, I would say that these are pens I'm excited to have in my collection. They are smaller size for writing, which is hard to find. They have fun colors, even though the colors look different than the cap. But one thing that I really like is the way that you can feel those upstrokes, and it's not messy at all. You'll have such really strong control over your upstrokes, and then you also have really nice control over your transition to a downstroke. Often that is a part of brush lettering that is difficult, and if these pens can take some of the difficulty out of that, that is amazing. I would say that these are pens that you want to put into your collection. It's really nice to have colored pens that are small. It's really nice to have colored pens that have really very controlled upstrokes and downstrokes. And one thing that I love about pens with this level of control is that it makes flourishing even easier. Flourishing, it's so easy to get thick lines and for your flourish to overtake your entire piece. But when you have a pen that you can control like this, it is so much easier to get beautiful, delicate flourishes that will not take away from any of your lettering. All in all, I would say that these pens, especially with the plus of them being acid-free, drying quickly, which is great for lefties, are ones that you should absolutely add to your collection. And if you can use a 40% off coupon, why not? On a scale of yay, okay, nay, or stay away, these are 100% a yay set of pens. I'm super, super glad that I'm adding these ones to my collection, and I'm sure that you will be too. If you have any other pens that you would like for me to review, leave them in the comments down below, or if you have an experience with these pens, I'd love to know what you think. Make sure that you subscribe so that you don't miss a single pen review, and I can't wait to see you again soon. Until then, happy lettering.